The night was heavy with the scent of rust and damp earth as I stood by the ancient dam valve, its iron wheel cold under my palms. This wasn't just a piece of machinery. It was the heart of the lake system that fed Silver Lake Resort, the glittering empire of HOA President Vivian Caldwell. My name is Ethan Harper, and 3 hours ago, Vivian's crew demolished my great-grandfather's barn while I was at the hospital with my daughter, Lily, for her leukemia treatment. They called it an emergency demolition for community safety. What they didn't know was that my family built this dam in 1924, and we still held the original water easement. Vivian thought she could bully a grieving single dad, but she was about to learn why you don't cross a man with nothing left to lose. The devastation hit me like a punch to the gut when I pulled into my driveway. Lily slumped against the passenger window, drained from chemo. Where my great-grandfather's barn once stood, a century-old testament to our family's legacy, was a yellow excavator, surrounded by splintered timber. My knees buckled. That barn wasn't just wood. It was my father's stories, my childhood summers, and the promise I'd made to Lily to restore it into her art studio. "Daddy, where's Great-Grandpa's barn?" Lily's voice was a faint whisper, slicing through me. I'd vowed to fix it with her when she got better, but now it was rubble, like my heart. A guy in a hard hat approached, shoving a manila envelope into my hands. "Ethan Harper? Sorry about the timing." The paperwork screamed lies. An emergency demolition notice from the Silver Lake HOA, time-stamped while we were at the hospital. They claimed they'd tried contacting me for weeks. Bullshit. I'd been home every day except today, and they knew it. Lily, sharp despite her exhaustion, was already snapping photos of the wreckage, the notice, the excavator's license plate. "Always get evidence, right, Daddy?" she said, her voice steady. At 12, cancer had made her wiser than most adults. Our neighbor, Mrs. Clara Nguyen, rushed over, her silver hair wild. "Ethan, I saw Vivian last week with a surveyor and some architect, measuring your land, talking about lakefront access for her resort's premium guests." She showed me photos on her phone. Vivian, smug, pointing at the barn, then the lake. The timestamps proved she'd planned this for weeks. Other neighbors gathered, some horrified, others slipping back inside to avoid trouble. The community was splitting, and Vivian was drawing the battle lines. I knelt in the rubble, running my hands over a beam carved with my great-grandfather's initials J.H. 1924. John Harper had built this barn with his own hands, a symbol of endurance. Lily picked up a splintered piece, tracing the letters. Great-grandpa would be pissed, wouldn't he? Her bald head, robbed by chemo, leaned against me. She was stronger than I was, and that fueled my rage. Vivian had torn down our history while my daughter fought for her life. Hank Miller, a Marine vet from down the street, surveyed the wreckage. "This wasn't a demo, Ethan. They pulverized it. Expensive equipment, too. Someone's sending a message." Clara squeezed my arm. I overheard Vivian on the phone, talking about a Phase 2 expansion and needing your property within 90 days. It clicked. The barn was just the start. Vivian wanted my entire land. In the rubble, Lily spotted a dented metal lockbox. Inside were yellowed photos of John Harper building the barn, shaking hands with suited men, and documents about a water system. One paper stood out, a 1924 contract granting the Harper family perpetual water easement over the lake system, signed by the county and state. Vivian had missed this. She thought she could bankrupt me with a $75,000 safety upgrade demand, but she'd underestimated my family's legacy. That night, I dug through my basement, avoiding the scent of my dad's old pipe tobacco. He'd been meticulous, and behind a stack of my college books, I found a locked box. The key was taped under his workbench, just as he'd shown me years ago. Inside was a hand-drawn map of the lake's water system, labeled J. Harper, Chief Water Engineer, Silver Lake County Water Trust. Another document confirmed our family's emergency authority over the lake, and a 1925 letter from the county commissioner praised John Harper's service, noting the critical valve on our property. I whispered, "Holy shit," then felt guilty in Dad's sacred space. This was a game-changer. Lily appeared at the basement stairs, pale but curious. "Daddy, what's that?" I explained the documents, and her eyes lit up. "So, Great-Grandpa was the boss of the lake. Can we tell Vivian she can't take our land?" Her clarity cut through my fog. Vivian's emergency HOA meeting was the next night, and she expected me to crumble. She was wrong. At the community center, I walked in with Lily, who insisted on coming despite her weakness. "I want to see you tell Vivian about great-grandpa." How could I say no? Vivian sat like a queen, flanked by board members who looked trapped. I stood, folder in hand. "Thank you for your presentation, Vivian. Calling my great-grandfather's barn an unauthorized structure is bold, considering John Harper built it as part of his role as chief water engineer in 1924. The room hushed. Vivian's smile twitched. I held up the documents. "Why did you demolish a legal structure tied to the water system your resort depends on?" Clara stood, showing her photos of Vivian's secret surveys. Vivian snapped. "Those are fake," but the crowd wasn't buying it. The next morning, Lily helped me set up a Facebook Live video, the barn's rubble in the background. She did her makeup to hide the chemo's toll, determined to look strong. "Let's talk about water rights and HOA presidents who think they're above the law." I began, holding up the 1924 documents. 3 days ago, the Silver Lake HOA demolished my great-grandfather's barn while I was at my daughter's cancer treatment. Here's what they didn't tell you. John Harper built this lake's water system, and my family holds perpetual rights. The viewer count soared as neighbors shared the link. Lily waved at the camera, her smile radiant. I read Vivian's leaked emails. "The Harper property is key. Barn demolition is scheduled during his daughter's treatment. Emergency clause gives us cover." The comments exploded with outrage. At 10,000 views, I walked to the lake's edge. "I'm not doing anything illegal, but Vivian will learn that actions have consequences." Vivian hit back hard. A certified letter from her lawyers threatened lawsuits for defamation. By Tuesday, a black SUV with a beefy security guard parked outside my house. Cameras appeared on utility poles, watching my every move. Lily peeked through the curtains. "Why's that man there, Daddy?" I gritted my teeth. "Vivian thinks she can scare us." Then came the pamphlet, Ethan Harper, a threat assessment, an 8-page smear calling me a water terrorist. It twisted Lily's illness, claiming my instability endangered the neighborhood. The isolation stung. Lily's friend Mia stopped coming over. Her mom said I was dangerous. Lily cried. Am I not allowed to have friends? Vivian had crossed a line, targeting my daughter's heart. Then came the legal masterpiece, a 47-page petition for eminent domain, claiming my property was a flood risk. It demanded $2.3 million in upgrades, exempting Vivian's resort. Worst, it used Lily's cancer, arguing my land was needed for emergency access for families like ours. Hank, Clara, and a dozen neighbors rallied. Clara found Vivian's resort was dodging taxes while flaunting renovations. Hank noted her cash purchases for surveillance gear. The real blow came at 3:17 a.m. Dr. Patel called. Lily's blood work was critical. She needed a bone marrow transplant now. The cost? $50,000 with insurance approval. Without it, bankruptcy or worse. At the hospital, Vivian showed up with flowers and a snake smile. I've spoken to Linda Carson at Blue Cross, a college friend. She's concerned about your family's stability. Her offer, $750,000 for my land to resolve community issues and expedite Lily's insurance. I stared at her. You're holding my daughter's life hostage. She shrugged. I'm solving your problems, Ethan. Lily, overhearing, whispered, she's not helping Daddy. She's hurting us. That night, Lily recorded a message. Vivian's using my sickness to steal our home. That's not fair. I couldn't sleep. Vivian had turned Lily's fight into a real estate deal. At midnight, I walked to the dam valve, my flashlight cutting through the dark. The century-old wheel resisted, but I forced it, each turn a reckoning for Vivian's greed. With a final click, the valve closed. Silence. No water flowed to her resort. By dawn, her empire was a wasteland. Pools drained, lawns browned, koi fish gasped in mud. Guests fled. Vivian's 6:15 a.m. Call was frantic. You're destroying vacations. I'll have you arrested. I replied, you tried to destroy my daughter's life. Your reign's over. The county commissioner's meeting was a circus, packed after Lily's video went viral. Lily sat in her wheelchair, wearing a Team Harper cap from Hank's Marine Buddies. I laid out everything. Vivian's surveys, the fake demolition, The water rights, her insurance extortion. I played Lily's message. Vivian's making my daddy choose between saving me and our land. The room roared. I played Vivian's recorded calls, admitting to manipulating Lily's insurance. Vivian screamed. I was protecting this community. I won't let one emotional father ruin everything. Then, fatally, if Ethan thinks he can use his sick daughter to manipulate us, he's wrong. The silence was crushing. Her lawyers froze. Within 48 hours, the FBI probed Vivian's water violations, the state investigated her tax fraud, and the county ousted her from the HOA. Linda Carson called. Lily's transplant was approved, fully covered. I was the Donora perfect match. Vivian's resort collapsed under EPA fines and investor pullouts. She pleaded guilty to corruption, sentenced to 3 years, her empire dust. Lily's surgery succeeded. Her red curls grew back, and she painted the lake, saying, "Great-grandpa built this for everyone." The county made the lake a public trust. I became the first trustee. On the barn's site, we built the John Harper Community Center, with Lily's memorial garden and a plaque, "Water belongs to everyone." Communities are built by those who care more about tomorrow than today. At the opening, Lily showed me her latest watercolor. The lake at sunrise, families on the shore. "Some things are worth fighting for," she wrote. She grinned. "Ready for the next adventure, Daddy?" I looked at my daughter, our neighbors, and the lake John Harper built. "Yeah, Lily. I'm ready."